Well, thank you for taking the time to view this webinar about wrapping up your FLL Junior program. My name is Matt. I'm here with First Pick, and I'm sure I've spoken to most of you. So today I'm just going to cover what you need to know for wrapping up the FLL Junior program for this year. About today includes completing reports. Those are the reports that you would see in the reporting site. Ones that the Expo report, the finance report, program report, and I'll talk in more detail about those, as well as show you a live look into completing the reports themselves in the reporting site. We're going to talk a little about compliance, the things that were outlined in the MOU necessary to successfully complete the program, and then talk a little bit about what's next. You will have to complete are the Expo report, the finance report, and the program report. So I'm going to give you some detail about each one. I'm not going to go into as much depth about the Expo report as I covered it in the previous webinar. But for the finance and program report, I'll talk a little bit about the questions that you'll be answering specifically. But I will give you a live look into all three of them, again, as it will appear on the reporting site. So why are reports important? So these reports that you'll be completing in the reporting site are taken by First. You can complete their own reporting. And that you provide in these reports can help determine future opportunities for the program. So when First takes this information to the people who provide the funding, if the data that reflects that the program has been effective, it increases the likelihood of getting the funding again for the program in the future. And then we use this information to create the best practices report from the information you all provide. So I definitely urge all of you to make all of these reports as detailed as you possibly can. The first thing to note about the expos is that they should be completed by May 31st. Speaking specifically about the expos, not necessarily the expo report. I'll talk about the due date for the reports a little later. So the expo report, it allows you to report on the success and or challenges of the expo, and it's really important that you are specific about the challenges you have or provide some really good success stories that you may have, because and it's a way for us to determine how we can help you implement your next expo, especially because we'll take some of this information, as I said, share it in the best practices report that you all to make programs better in the future. This one's really important. It helps us determine if the funds enhance your program. And this is where you'll upload your receipts for the items purchased for the program. This is really important because then First we'll be able to see that where exactly you spent the money that they provided for you, and if it really did enhance the program and if it was used properly, they'll be able to justify that with future funding to enhance your programs again later down the road. It's really important just to make sure that the funds that you received were properly used. So the things that you're going to see on the report, they're pretty straightforward. The first question is, did you receive the sum of $2,400 from First to program? It's just a yes or no question. Is the $2,400 given to you by First to purchase tablets for your program? Just another yes or no question, and then please explain. Then do not spend all of the funds on tablets. Please describe what you used it for. Did you find the funds to be helpful with enhancing your program? Please explain. And then please upload all receipts for items you purchased during using the funds sent by First. It's especially important to make sure that you do not forget to upload the receipts. Program report. So the program report is Just a snapshot of your overall program. Report successes or challenges faced. That was for the best practices report. So we'll really look at all of the reports that you all submit carefully. This is where we see any innovative accomplishments that you may have had, and that's actually a specific question in the report. Things that we can use that will benefit other sites. It allows us to determine if you met the requirements outlined in the original MOU. So the question you'll see on the program report include when did you implement your final FLL junior session? Just you enter date for that. How participated in your FLL junior program? Just enter a number. That should be the number of youth that are in your program overall, but it should also be the amount of youth that successfully completed the requirements of the program, which is just, attending the sessions. And then can you share with us some accomplishments of your FLL junior program? This is where we get the bulk of the information that we use for the best practices report. So you talk about the successes you've had, and the strategies that you use to have those accomplishments, and just I think it's kind of unique and something that went really well, something that you did that worked really well for your program. Please share with us any problems or barriers encountered during your FLL junior program. This is really important too, because it allows us to address any of the issues that arise, and you can see that in the next question. Is there any assistance that First Pick can provide to address any of the problems listed in the question above? So don't tell us if you don't detail the problems that you experience, then we can't really provide any solutions for it. So that is our goal, is just to hear out these issues that you may have been experiencing and provide solutions for that, or share solutions that other sites may have come up with. Do you have any innovative accomplishments regarding the implementation of your FLL junior program that you would like to share with FIRST? And again, as I said before, that is just where you, anything you have done with your program that may be kind of unique, or something that is thinking outside the box, or that other sites may or may not be doing but could benefit from, this is where you would detail that. So if you have anything that you've done, definitely please share it here. Last few questions for the program report. What plans for implementing in the next program year? So this one's just to give us an idea of what your plans are for getting started again for the next school year. This can be as detailed as you want it to be, even down to recruitment efforts, or what your plans are for just anything regarding the plans for implementing the next program year. Is very important. So if you did not reach 144 students this year, please detail plans on how you will in the 2017-2018 season. So you may not have reached 144 students, which is the number of students that was outlined in the original MOU. If you do not reach this number, then we really need to see, why, and then what you plan to do to remedy this for the next program year. Photos of your FLL junior program here, and that's just an attachment. To compliance, I'm actually going to switch over to the other screen, and I will give you a live look into what you will see when you go into the reporting site for the reports. So when you first log in, and just to make you all aware, so some the stuff that I show you isn't live as of right now. Today is May 15th. Right now, what I am in is the what we call stage. It's the testing site that we use to test out the features of the reporting site before we make them live. So this is where If there are any like bugs or any sort of issues and anything that we need to add, we take here before we make it live and give it to all for use. That's why when this board probably looks different than what you would usually see, because this is not live yet. So to go into the dashboard, the first thing, if it's the reports, you want to select the report stat, and this is a little different too, because previously this was just Expo reports, but now we have 3 different reports. It's become a down menu that has Expo report, program report, and finance report. So before I select any of these, I'm going to select View All. Right now, these are all. So I'm actually going to go back and change the status of these so I can show you all exactly how to come and what the process is like. Bear with me for just a moment. And so, if you who have ever been interested, this is what it looks like from my things. Believe me, I'm actually going to pause the recording here, and then I'm going to come right back to where I need to be next. Well, sorry about that. All these are in the not started status, so I can go in and edit all of them and show you exactly what you'll be doing. So one thing, when you complete those reports, they go from left to right. So that's the order of the questions, just so it, you don't go on down. It seems kind of order. But I already went through these questions about the Expo report in particular in the previous webinar, but I'll just give you a quick review of that. So the question is, when did you host your Expo? That's pretty straightforward. Where did you host your Expo? Just put the location of that. How many youth participated in your Expo? And then so forth. Answer these questions and then when your attachments. One thing to keep in mind is right now, the only format that is accepted this site is PDF. That's an issue. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see if we can expand capability. But hopefully PDF is universal enough that it shouldn't be an issue. Then you just select Upload it out, and then you can use PDFs that I've uploaded to test it. And then once you are done, just select Submit. If you submit the report, you can't go back in and edit it. You can go in and view what you put, and if I missed something or you wanted to make some sort of changes, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be able to send it back to you so you can edit it again. But again, if you submit it, you cannot go back and edit it without us sending it back first. So we have the program report and the finance report. It's much the same. I already went over all of these questions with all of you, but again, just left or right. Same with uploading attachments. It accepts the PDF version currently, and then PDFs that I've tested already. Then you select Submit. And then with the finance report, so all of these are pretty straightforward. They're pretty much the same format. Just answer all the questions, you upload your attachment, PDF, and then you submit it. All of the, once you're done, it should have the submitted status, as I said before. And if at a point you need any of these sent back for edits, you can reach out to me and I will send that back to you so you can update it. But that is currently the live look into the reporting site. These features should be made available to all of you fairly soon. And by the time you watch this training, that they should already be available for you to work on. So let's switch it back over to and we'll continue on with the presentation. Now I'll move into compliance. The requirements of the program, as was outlined in the MOU, you must have served 144 students focused on underserved or represented populations as listed in the application, and at least 40% girl population. The meeting information must be answered. It includes date for each session, for each cohort as implemented, as well as attendance figures. So this is just us, how we keep up with, just making sure that you've all attended all the sessions and you have the right attendance figure for each session. Make sure you update all of the meeting information for each cohort, not just in one in particular, but all of them should be totally up to date with all of the lessons, the dates they were implemented, and the attendance figures. Reports should be completed no later than Tuesday, June 20th. So we wanted to make sure you all had enough time to complete the reports. We also need some time to take all data so we can, so FIRST can complete their own reporting, so we can create the best practices report. So I'm trying to be just trying to meet somewhere in the middle with the report. Talk a little bit about what's next. So session 2 will be enabled as soon as possible in the reporting site. Now, what you guys see is the session 1 data. And it's something we're working on right now is to make sure session 2 is available as soon as possible, because I know some of you want to get a jump on entering the data ahead of time, and which I think is great. So we're going to try to make sure that that capability is available as soon as possible. August is officially when year 2 begins. Registration is open now for next season. And if you were to register now, all materials will be ready to ship August 1st. So if you register between now and August 1st, then your items will be shipped on that date. And for anyone who registers after August 1st, materials will take about a week to ship. So complete it on August 2nd, you can plan on it on August 9th, or whatever the next business day is after that. Training will be provided to get everyone started in year 2. It'll consist of reporting site review, review the program requirements, and go over some best practices. So it'll be very similar to what this is, just to get everyone started. It'll be kind of, I'll give you a view of the reporting site again, just as a refresher. We'll go over what is required of everyone as outlined in the MOU, so we don't have any confusion going forward. We'll be able to review the best practices. So again, for best practices, it's very important that you are as detailed as you possibly can be in your reports, so that way you can share some really valuable information, especially next go around. So that I have, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to reach out to myself. My name is Matt again, at the email right there, or you can feel free to reach out to either Dontre or Elise. I'm sure a number of you have received emails from them, just giving you reminders to complete entering information into the reporting site. And then, of course, especially with certain programmatic questions, you definitely want to reach out to Colin, because he has a lot of answers that I don't, of course. So the way to remember it is, if it's any question regarding the reporting site, you can definitely reach out to me. And more specific to clients or any grant-related questions that you have, or product questions, reach out to Colin. Of course, if you've reached out to me and if it's something I'm not sure if I can answer, I will always pass it off to him. So feel free to reach out to me either way. I'd like to say thank you, and I really appreciate the patience that you all have shown to this point. I know this reporting site is totally new. It's a totally new process from what you may have been doing before. So again, just thank you for bearing with us and best you can. And like I said, any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available by email, and you can also call me at 443-302-2080. Thank you all for taking the time to view this training, and hopefully it was beneficial, and I will be talking to you all soon.